This morning, Governor Obiano restates his pledge to create an enabling environment for youths in the state. NIMASA donates relief materials to people affected by 2018 flood disaster in Anambra. Federal government begins clamp down on illegal cooking gas dealers. While 30 Indonesians, including children, die in a mastic factory fire. Good morning and welcome again to the news. I am David Opokwasili. 2,200 corps members deployed to Anambra State in 2019 Batch B Stream 1 program have been sworn in for a 2-week orientation exercise. The swearing-in exercise, which took place at the NYSC Temporary Orientation Camp Omonia, had the corps members charged to be active participants in the development efforts of their host communities through effective integration. Correspondent Blessing Uchendo was at the orientation program and now completes the story.
Out of the 2,200 corps members, 1,067 are male, while 1,133 are female. In her speech, Governor Willie Obiano, who stressed that the scheme has over the years lived up to the vision of impacting positively on national development, especially in rural communities through developmental projects, reminded them that the success of every service year depends on the foundation laid during the orientation. The governor, represented by the head of service, Barrister Harry Udu, asked the corps members to break new grounds and surpass the achievements of their predecessors in the scheme, pledging the commitment of his administration in providing enabling environments for the youths to maximize their potentials.
The scheme has over the years lived up to this vision, impacting positively on the national development process, especially the education sector. We are working assiduously to ensure that the NYSC Ultra-Modern Orientation Camp Umuawolo is ready for use by August this year.
In his address, the Commissioner for Youth Entrepreneurship and Creative Economy, who is also the chairman of the NYSC Governing Board, Mr. Afamon Banefo, urged the corps members to utilize the opportunity of the orientation exercise to imbibe the virtues of loyalty, discipline, and commitment to become better members of the society.
Today marks your formal engagement into the National Youth Service Corps scheme and commencement of the orientation program, which provides you the first avenue of effecting the desired change of attitude.
The Anambra State Coordinator of the National Youth Service Corps, Mr. Kehinde Aremu, while enumerating some of the camp activities, including skill acquisition, entrepreneurship programs, and social activities, thanked Governor Obiano for his support to the scheme and solicited for more. Some of the corps members, Christian Essien, Kate Anebwe, and Mohammed Nuhu Alihu, expressed delight for having been posted to Anambra State and promised to be of good conduct. Administration of oath of allegiance by the Chief Judge of Anambra State, Justice Ijem Onwamebu, represented by Justice Dilibe Amechina, tug-of-war competition, martial arts exhibition, as well as 3 hearty cheers by the corps members added glamour to the event. From NYSC Orientation Camp, Omonia, Blessing Uchendo, ABS News.
Effective collaboration, teamwork, and respect to professional ethics dominated discussions as part of inquiry into the collapsed building at number 8 Ezenwa Street on Echekomen's public hearing in Awka. The public hearing, which was held at the Government House, Awka, was attended by all relevant professional bodies in the building industry. Correspondent Shibuzo Koye was at the public hearing and tells us more.
Some of the professional bodies in attendance were the Nigerian Institute of Building, Nigerian Institute of Architects, Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, Nigerian Institute of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, as well as the Nigerian Society of Engineers. In his opening remark, the chairman of the panel, Ikwe Charles Abala, who is the traditional ruler of Uke, said that the public hearing was meant to listen to the various professionals in the building industry in order to help formulate a feasible and practicable policy guidelines that will help the government to stop the lingering building collapse in the state. Igwe Abala appealed to all the various professional bodies in the building industry to make suggestions and presentations that will bring a permanent solution to the issue of building collapse, which he said is not peculiar to Anambra State alone.
It's another panel to see those loopholes and still recommend to government to make adequate regulations to curb that.
The president, Nigerian Institute of Building, Mr. Kenneth Nnabi Fendoka, pointed out that greed, professional incompetence, internal rivalry among building professionals are most of the major causes of building collapse in the country, adding that building industry needs effective collaboration and teamwork for every professional to know their specific roles.
What we are passing through has some challenges in terms of our personal attitude, in terms of our professional competence, in terms of our professional negligence, in terms of greed on the part of the average public.
In his paper presentation, the first vice president, Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, Town Planner Toyin Ayinde, revealed that from October 1974, when the country witnessed the first building collapse in Ibadan, Oyo State, till 2015, only 4 collapsed buildings were as a result of natural occurrence. Others were human errors, and made it clear that no professional body in the building industry is more important than the other.
We are guided first by a body of knowledge that is common to us, and then code of conduct and ethics. And that is what should run in the mind of any professional. And if we do that, we will truly eliminate building collapse.
The man who wrote the site analysis of the collapsed building was equally drilled during the hearing. The public hearing ended with a discussion to fashion out modalities to end quackery in all the professional bodies in the building industry. In Oka, this is Chibuzo Okoye for ABS News.
Those who still do business on the shanties at the Harbour Industrial Layout of Baru have been directed to vacate immediately as the Anambra State government has commenced the removal of all illegal structures at the industrial zone. This aims at returning the place to its original plan and to rid the area of criminal activities which are aided by such structures. Mr. Chike Madekwe, the chairman and managing director, Anambra State Fiscal Planning Board, who spoke on the heels of removal of illegal structures and backed upon by the board, said that security is a top priority of Governor Obiano-led administration. Ogochukwu Orano has a report.
Chairman said they cannot sit back and watch the industrial layout turn into a criminal hideout. Mr. Madekwe described the industrial layout as one of the best in the country with good network of roads. He explained that the board has done the first section of the clearance at the residential area of the layout, where articulated vehicles took advantage of the spacious roads to park their lorries for months.
The government of Anambra State generally does not tolerate illegal structures. If you are speaking about the industrial harbor, my board has cleaned up that place substantially. But we found out there were prostitutes there. In the night, there was a lot of crime going on. People were being kidnapped and raped, mugged. So government gave a directive that we should go there and stop what the nonsense going on there.
Mrs. Amaka Njoku, a food vendor at the industrial layout, told the ABS that she has done business for 4 years in one of the structures, lamented the hardship the closure of their business will cause them. Another of the food vendors, Mr. Ugochukwu Onota, told the ABS that they begin sales from 12 noon to 11 o'clock in the night, regretting the economic hardship the closure will cause them. Ogochukwu Orano for ABS News.
The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, has donated relief materials to people affected by the 2018 flood disaster in Anambra State. The Executive Secretary, Anambra State Emergency Management Agency, Chief Paul Odenibo, received the donations on behalf of the state government in Awka. We have the details. NIMASA, formerly the National Maritime Authority, is the regulatory agency in charge of shipping, maritime labor and coastal waters. The agency, as part of their corporate social responsibility, targets making the interventions in 20 states, with Anambra being the 18th where they have made such interventions. Some of the items include bags of salt, sugar, millet, beans, cowpeas, bambara nuts, maize, gallons of vegetable and palm oil, cartons of instant noodles, water, toiletries, beddings, sewing machines, mattresses, and many other items. Presenting the items, the Director General NIMASA, Dr. Dakoku Peterside, said the aim of the donation is to help the state government to take care of those who were displaced during the deluge. Represented by the Director of Internal Audit in the agency, Mr. Victor Onuzurike, Dr. Peterside expressed the hope that the relief materials will help the families affected to fully recover from the effects.
He thought it wise that we should come and show some concern, no matter how small it is. That is why we have brought some of these items that you've seen here, that we brought here, to be distributed to them to alleviate some of their problems.
In his response, the Executive Secretary of the State Emergency Management Agency, Chief Odenibo, thanked NIMASA for its partnership, saying that the donation will go a long way in helping the state government in their interventionary efforts.
It's a thing of joy for me. The little thing they brought to us will be put into effective use. We'll give it to the right people, the people who need this. We know them, we'll distribute them accordingly.
It will be recalled that about 18,000 persons were displaced in the state during the last flood disaster. Remember that the Nigerian Meteorological Agency (NIMET) had predicted that 30 states of the Federation will be affected by flood this year, including Anambra, where 10 local government areas were projected as highly probable areas. In Awka, I am David Obokwase reporting for ABS News. A member of Board of Trustees of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, Dr. Anthony Enukemans, advised members of both national and state assemblies to work towards making laws that will improve the living standard of the people. He gave the advice at his country home, Neni, in an Osho local government area, while interacting with newsmen. We have detail.
According to Dr. Enukeme, since the primary function of the legislature is to make laws, those that were elected as the representatives of the people should aspire to give their constituents quality and effective representation by making laws that will reflect their yearnings and aspirations. He stressed the need for the three arms of government at both national and state levels to continue to work in harmony for enhanced development of the Nigerian nation.
A bill that will speed up Anambra State. A bill that will foster unity among the people of Anambra State. They make a law that will stabilize Anambra State for peace.
Dr. Enukeme called for all hands to be on deck to safeguard the nation's democratic governance. The APGA Board of Trustees member appealed to members of the All Progressive Grand Alliance who are still nursing grievances over the last primaries to forget the past and join hands in moving the party forward, describing APGA as the political party for the progressives.
All right, it's still breakfast news on Anambra Broadcasting TV. Still to come on the news. Federal government begins clamp down on illegal cooking gas dealers. 30 Indonesians, including children, die in a mastic factory fire. Stay with us. ABS, Heartbeats of the East. The federal government has commenced clamp down on illegal roadside dealers of liquefied petroleum gas LPG, popularly known as cooking gas. Cooking gas officers of Department of Petroleum Resources (DPR), in conjunction with Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC), flagged up the enforcement in Abuja and environs, arresting 5 illegal operators with the aim of curbing the illegal activities of LPG retailers and skid operators. The areas visited by the team included Galadimawa, Lokogama, Aziz, particularly Sunnyvale Estate and other suburbs within the city, where the team clamped down on illegal operators found dispersing gas in very dangerous circumstances without necessary safety precautions. It will be recalled that the government last month announced the commencement of a policy to remove ownership of LPG cylinders from consumers, while dealers will be barred from refilling gas cylinders by the roadside and other unauthorized places. The policy, the government said, would require that ownership of the cylinders rest solely with dealers and distributors. Speaking during the enforcement campaign, head of gas DPR, Engineer Omar Wandu, said most of the illegal outlets lacked basic and standard minimum requirements like fire extinguishers and detectors, water sprinkler, temperature gauge, pressure and volume gauge, among others. Vice President Yemi Osibanjo has told French investors that Nigeria is open for business and is inviting them to take advantage of the enabling environment in the country to do business. Osibanjo gave the assurance during a dinner organized in Abuja by the Nigerian Embassy in France as a part of activities for the ongoing 3-day Nigeria-France Business and Investment Forum. He told already existing French companies and French business delegates who were on a fact-finding mission that the government was committed to ensuring that their businesses thrive in the country. He assured the investors that the Nigerian government will assist them to walk through any of the difficulties that they may encounter as quickly as possible. And we move now to Indonesia, where at least 30 people, including several children, have been killed when a fire ripped through a home that doubled as a matchstick factory in Indonesia. Pictures from the scene showed blackened corpses lying on top of each other on the floor in the aftermath of the blaze that authorities said broke out early Friday afternoon. The TV footage showed plumes of black smoke blowing from the home in the town of Binjai in northern Sumatra, about 70 kilometers west of provincial capital Medan. The head of North Sumatra's disaster agency, Raidil Lubis, revealed that the cause of the fire was unknown, but it has been extinguished, adding that at least 3 children were among the victims. Resident Budi Zulkifli said he was headed to the local mosque in the Muslim majority nation when the fire broke out. Binjai Police Chief Nugro Tri Nuyanto said a gas canister explosion may have set off the blaze, but that the cause still needed to be confirmed. According to him, they are still identifying the victims and scoring the scene, adding that 3 people escaped the blaze. And then on the sports desk, the Anambra State government has said it will support any idea on innovation that adds further speed to the development of the state's economy and infrastructure. The Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Mr. C. Don Adenoba, disclosed this when a group under the aegis of Onitsha City Marathon paid him a visit in his office at the Jerome Udoji Secretariat, Oka. Correspondent Daniel Ezigwe was there and completed the report.
The Onitsha City Marathon is a new sport proposal for the city of Onitsha that will have a partial resemblance to the Lagos Marathon and the Obepe Marathon in Edo State. Appreciating the idea of the Onitsha City Marathon, Mr. Adinoba said the project was a wonderful prospect that will bring a unique and contemporary pattern of life in the city, and added that the Anambra State government was open to such creative benchmarks that will expedite its developmental master plan. The commissioner, who also noted that the hosting of the sports festival in Onitsha was strategic given the historic and economic significance of the area, said that the Anambra State government is investing hugely in sports, with works soon to resume at the Oka City Stadium.
I would like to see people find Onitsha in a different perspective, not just by necessarily the local markets. That these people can engage in marathon,
The leader of the Onitsha City Marathon and Director General of the Onitsha Business School, Professor Olusegun Shobeshon, who has lived in Anambra State for 28 years, said that sports development in Anambra State was very imperative, noting that the marathon will boost the tourism sector, provide employment, and promote basic athletics.
We have trademarked this race. So it's not going to be just do it and go. It is every year event. With the Federal Ministry of Trade and Commerce, we have the certificate. We have also registered this race with AFN. That is the Athletic Federation of Nigeria. I think we are the latest marathon body that have registered.
Earlier, the group's media head, Mr. Philip Balebo, said that the Onitsha City Marathon, which will be an annual sports event, was aimed at bringing a different method of doing things in Onitsha, apart from buying and selling, with athletes from outside of Nigeria being invited to compete in the tournament, adding that what the Anambra State government has done with the Onitsha Marine Market will serve as a strong template for the kickoff of the event.
We want to see how the woman will live. Let him live, appreciate life. And we're not just going to do a marathon. What we want to do is create recreation for the average Onitsha resident.
In Oka, Daniel Ezigwe, ABS News.
Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/ABS Radio TV Online. Follow us on Twitter at ABS Radio TV and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. Here are the main points again before we go. Governor Obiano has restated his pledge to create an enabling environment for youth in the state. NIMASA has donated relief materials to people affected by 2018 flood disaster in Anambra. And the federal government has begun clamp down on illegal cooking gas dealers. 30 Indonesians, including children, have died in a mastic factory fire. And that is the news this morning. I am David Opopasale. Thank you for joining us.